What's up guys, Jake from A&J Sports here. Welcome to today's video. Today I am going to be giving you my personal opinion on who I think the 10 best transfers have been in this window. There's been many deals that have gone on through Europe, lots of last minute transfer deals on deadline day, long talks, speculations that have finally come through, and some sensational loan offers as well. And I've boiled every bit of business down to my personal opinion on what I think is the top 10 best deals of the summer transfer window. Kylian Mbappe has to be the number one transfer of this window. Real Madrid have been after him for such a long period of time, and, you know, for getting him on a free deal for a player of his quality, so they've not had to spend an absurd amount of money to bring him into the team. And Kylian Mbappe, who I think without question is the best player in the world right now. I think that is almost unanimous. Vast majority, a huge majority of football fans in the world would agree in saying that Kylian Mbappe is probably the best player on the planet. And although 4 games in, yes, he scored on his debut, but it doesn't look as smooth sailing as we've seen in the 3 league games where he hasn't scored a goal. But without question, eventually Kylian Mbappe is going to find his feet, and he's going to do what he's been doing at Paris Saint-Germain. It just takes a bit of time to adapt to a new league, especially for Kylian Mbappe, who's played his entire club career in the French league, and the adjustment from the French league to La Liga is going to take time. It's work in progress, but no doubt Kylian Mbappe is going to be producing the numbers and the performances eventually for Real Madrid. So Kylian Mbappe, without question, has to be the number one signing of the windows. In at number 2, for me, I think that the second best transfer of this window has to be Julian Alvarez. From Man City to Atletico Madrid, obviously Morata leaving Atletico Madrid, going to AC Milan, so there was a free spot for a new striker, and I think that this is a much better, far better option than Morata. Julian Alvarez has just been winning trophies galore for the last 3 seasons, winning at both club and international level, and we saw in his performances for Man City in the last couple of years and for Argentina as well, that he is an absolute quality forward player, brought in for 75 million euros, which I think is a fair price for Julian Alvarez, and not to mention all the other players Atletico brought in as well. But I think what he offers for the team, you know, a terrific dribble on the ball. He's an absolute phenomenal finisher. He can score from many different angles, from free kicks, volleys, from distance. He's a terrific poacher. And then not only that, he is a creative striker as well, which I think would really benefit Atletico in many, many ways. Having a striker like that for any club is just going to produce some spectacular performances and make them win many games. So Julian Alvarez for me is the second best transfer. Now, third best transfer for me, which just happened a few days ago, for me it is Federico Chiesa to Liverpool. More for the fact of how cheap they got him for. Chiesa, who I think on his day with a full contract, we have to take into consideration here that he only had 1 year left on his contract, and that inevitably is going to force a player's value to go for cheaper. And I remember 3 years ago after the Euros, you know, we rejected a €100 million offer from Liverpool, but now they've got him in for €13 million, which is just ridiculous. And although Chiesa is not the same player since his ACL injury, what he can offer for a team, you know, he's a tremendous playmaker, still a very quick winger on the ball and off the ball, gets in terrific positions, and you give him any sort of space in that 18-yard area on his right foot and he is going to hammer that in, not even just on his right, on his left as well. And it's just more for the price tag, because I think he will be a very good addition to the team Whether or not he's going to be a starter straight off the bat, I don't know. But for the price tag and the ability of Chiesa, I think that is a tremendous bit of business for Liverpool. So I have Chiesa going in as the third best transfer of the summer window. Now, number 4 for me, I think, is more on potential, but so far has put in a solid shift for Paris Saint-Germain, and that is João Neves. I think that is a very good bit of business from PSG to sign this incredibly talented young defensive midfielder from Benfica, and his performances have not disappointed. Not your typical defensive midfielder where it's just defend, defend, defend. He's an absolute magnificent passer on the ball, and he has been getting quite a few assists so far for the French side, and he has just offered that lot more bit of creativity in the middle of the park, and he can provide a bit of security there also when push comes to shove. And I think he is definitely one for the future, and they got him from Benfica for a fee of 60 million euros. And I think so far has been an incredible signing for PSG. And if they play their cards right, keep him for the right amount of time and don't mess him about like they have done with previous talents prior, I think that he could go down as a potential legend for PSG if he keeps this up. So I have João Neves as the 4th best signing of the transfer window. Now for me, number 5, I think has to be João Palhinha to Bayern Munich. He's been at Fulham for a lot longer than I thought he actually would. He is an absolute incredible defensive midfielder, an absolute top talent. But now he's finally decided to make the jump to the big leagues, playing for Bayern Munich, where expectations are going to be incredibly high. Moved to Bayern Munich from Fulham for a fee of 51 million euros. And we can see so far in Fulham's performances so far in the Premier League just how much more of a miss that man actually is. An absolute solid physical presence in the midfield, but also can offer a bit more than that. His long passing, his vision to pick out players from 40, 50 yards is incredible. Like some of the pings that I've seen him do in his time for Fulham and also for Portugal as well is absolutely astonishing. And I think he is going to do very, very well for Bayern Munich. And I think that he could definitely grow into one of the best defensive midfielders in world football, if he isn't already at the minute, and have a long and successful career for Bayern Munich, and maybe even go to some other big clubs one day. And I think the German league is definitely going to be a good level for him to really show his physical presence due to the physicality of the German league. And I think this is the sort of player that Bayern definitely needed in. So I have Palhinha as the 5th best signing of the window. Number 6 for me, this may seem a little bit biased, but I am putting in Douglas Luiz. I think all the players Juventus have brought in, I do think Douglas Luiz is the best transfer. You know, a top defensive midfielder for Aston Villa for the last couple of seasons. And not only does he provide stability in the middle of the park for whatever team he plays, he can also offer a bit more than that. He's got a good eye for the attacking side of football, and he can be a threat as well. Real physical presence that, you know, we could do with on set pieces, winning tackles. He's a very good interceptor on the ball. And we really needed that sort of midfield player for Juventus. And I think I've been very surprised that he's not been in the starting lineup in the first 2 games. But I reckon with Thuram being injured and all, he probably will start to get into the first 11 for the next few games. And then I think as soon as he does, we're going to have a very solid player on our hands here for years to come. And then not to mention what was also the cherry on top of the cake, that move forced his girlfriend to come to Juventus as well. So for Douglas Luiz to come to Juventus, we also got Alicia Lehmann. So that is definitely the 6th best transfer of the window. The 7th best transfer, I think it was quite close between this one and Douglas Luiz, but I put Ugarte move to Man United. Man United definitely needed a new defensive midfielder because Casemiro, obviously, he had a very good first season for United. He actually went a bit above expectations. I don't think a lot of people thought he would do as good as he did. But then his second season, last season, absolutely dreadful. And United don't have a prayer for the rest of the season if they don't get another central defensive midfielder in there. And also with the loss of McTominay and, Casemiro not being very reliable as of now, they really did need that type of midfielder. And getting him in on the last day or two of the transfer window and bringing him in for 50 million euros, I think that is a good buy for Manchester United. And he will definitely show an improvement in the middle for Manchester United. And they could definitely pick up some results, a lot more results, with that sort of player in the middle of the park, which they really needed. So I have Ugarte at number 7. In at number 8, and some people might be shocked about this, but hear me out. Georgi Mamardashvili. I butchered that, I apologise, but my Georgian pronunciation is not the greatest, so I apologise if I really butchered that. But this is an absolute solid recruitment by Liverpool. Bringing in a young 23-year-old goalkeeper who had an outstanding Euros tournament, produced some other quality saves in clutch moments, and this is an excellent choice for a second goalkeeper. Obviously, I can't see him getting ahead of Alisson anytime soon, but I think give it a couple of years when Alisson's time is to step down and he probably might move somewhere else. I think that he could definitely grow into an even better goalkeeper, and then Liverpool won't have to look for a new number 1 goalkeeper in between the sticks. I definitely think he has got the ability to develop into a top level, and I'm possibly talking about top 10 keepers in the world here, because what I've seen from I'm not going to say his name because I know for a fact that I'm going to butcher it, but leaving Valencia and produce some stunning saves for that team, coming to Liverpool for a £30 million deal, I think that is a very good buy for Liverpool. And he, in a couple of years, will definitely become the number 1 for Liverpool and possibly be one of the best keepers, or possibly the best keeper in the league. So I have the Georgian keeper in the number 8. Number 9, I decided to go for Nico Paz to Como. Absolute sensational young talent who grew from the Real Madrid Academy and has definitely got so much potential to grow into a world-class individual. And he's now gone to Como, now going to be learning under Cesc Fabregas, the newly promoted Serie A side, and with some of the players they already brought in the window as well. I think that would definitely be a difference maker to keep Como up for another season in Serie A, and then eventually they just keep developing, bringing more players into this side, and I think he is going to just light the league up this season in Serie A. Nico Paz, I definitely see being the 9th best signing of the transfer window. Now, 10th, and certainly not least, I do think that Calafiori has been a very good appointment from Arsenal. Breakout season with Bologna, producing some incredible defensive displays with Thiago Motta's Bologna that made Champions League football, creating history for this side in Emilia-Romagna, Italy. And he's now moved to Arsenal for a fee of 45 million euros. And I think what also did it a little bit more, his performance in the Euros, even though it was short. Calafiori's performances, particularly in the Croatia game, and his good tactical awareness. Like, he is a very smart player, a very smart defender, and he loves to drive forward and contribute a lot to the attacking side of things for his team, which I think is definitely a type of player that Arteta would want at Arsenal. He doesn't just want your typical defender to just defend the lead, wants a defender that can definitely link up with the play. And although he hasn't started a game, every time he's come on, Arsenal fans have said that he's looked good. And from what I've seen, he looks good every time he comes onto the pitch. and he's a very good dribbler on the ball. He's very composed, very patient. He don't just rush in, and versatility as well, a centre half, left back, and I think he even might have the qualities to become a defensive midfielder one day. And right now, I only see him being a sort of rotation player because you've got Jurgen Timber playing on the left, and then the defensive partnership between Saliba and Gabriel. Obviously, at the beginning, he's not going to just be pushed into the 11 straight away. But I definitely think that Calafiori will be an incredible player for Arsenal for years to come. And I have him as the 10th best signing of the transfer window. And that's how I have my top 10 transfers of the window, guys. Let me know yours in the comments below. Let me know who you think the best is. And like I said, it's my opinion. There's never a guarantee in football. And we just have to wait and see how they will adjust to the new teams. But let me know your opinions. Also, like the video if you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe to A&J Sports. Come join the A&J family. Much love. Ciao, ciao.